Mark, this is a bit of film which is used as a background at the climax of your play about the Pope who lived for 30 days. What made you decide to get involved in this play and directing a play, this particular play?
Well, the more I read up on the John Paul I, the more it sort of fascinated me. Sort of a circle of people that were connected to him, were against him, and were for him, and things like that. And I found him a very impressive character. You know, so what I've done really is just use the characters from that period, 78.
1978 as well, we're talking very recent.
Yeah. But it's interesting characters like the Bishop of Accounts, Marcinkus and people like that. But I mean, I haven't really been very factual with the characters. I've used them just as a sort of stimulation thing to go on to other things and relative things. I've got like the mafias in it and stuff like that. And
I mean, is there a suggestion that he was in fact bumped off by the...
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of people say in the research I did for it. Well, I didn't do a lot of research, but it is insinuated a lot,
Why would people have wanted to have him bumped off, do you think?
I don't know. People say he was going to plan a revolution, that would have changed everybody. He was trying to get rid of the financial elements of it, of church and religion.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't sort of harp on about this. It's not any political or anti-Catholic statement, or anything like that. I just find the characters around him very interesting. I mean, I find like Chicago and stuff like that, all the connections from it, and the World War II connects up with it and stuff. And what I've done in the play is just carried that on, So it opens tonight in Hammersmith anyway, so I'll see how it goes,
Very interesting idea. I mean, it's sold out for a couple of weeks, I believe, at least, which is good.
Well, it's, half of it is.
Good. So that's now. I've heard that you don't actually use actors in it.
Yeah.
You've got your friends doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, they're good performers. We've got about 3 actors now.
Oh, really?
There's about 15 people, I don't know.
Have you found it very hard work trying to organise people to say things how you want them said and things like this?
Yeah, but I mean, I've been really lucky in the casting. I mean, I only got 1 or 2 casting things wrong, Do you know what I'm saying? If you sort of put somebody who's supposed to be tough, who's got sort of a nice, gentle bloke, I mean, it just doesn't work, no matter what you think.
The Fool's doing the music for it. Do you perform yourself in it?
Yeah, we do about 3 songs in it. But I mean, it's the dialogue mainly.
Yes.
I like to see it. It's coming across, I think. And I mean, I do switch all over the world and stuff,
Yeah.
Like we have a British scene and things like that.
Well, I think it looks a very interesting play, which I shall be going myself, and I hope that you don't have... If you disappear, then we shall hold the Catholic Church personally responsible for your disappearance.
Yeah, we are the fall and we are the best. Yeah, we are the fall and we are the best. Yeah, we are the fall and we are the best.
All right, welcome back to We Are the Fall. And what you just heard at the beginning of the episode was an interview between Marky Smith and Jules Holland in 1986. Mark talking about the Hey Luciani play that he was producing at the time. And why are we playing that? Well, in the year that we're currently in, 2005, The Fall made their appearance on Later with Jules Holland. And it was an interesting performance. It was a great performance, honestly, and I hope we can get into that some. But The Fall went on to Jules Holland, and basically Marky Smith was the only artist in history to go on the show and have a clause in his contract for the show that supposedly inserted to state that he would not play if Jules Holland was going to play boogie woogie piano over any of his songs. And it's funny because he also said that Mark was delaying the filming multiple times by coming in and out and walking in and out of the shot and calling Robert Plant, who I guess was also performing in that same show, cunty. And just generally behaving like he was the last Englishman. Robert Plant turned up in a bulletproof limo. The Fall were transported by a Salford van hire. Oh, annoyance of it all. Yeah, well, what comes out of that I mean, that's hilarious, but what comes out of that is this is happening in 2005, 1 year after John Peel has passed away, October 2004, and I, kinda wonder, would The Fall even play on Jules Holland if the Peel sessions were still, you know, available to them?
I would hope not. You know,
Yeah.
Mark never even really appreciated the love that John had for him anyway, so who knows?
Yeah, I think he did appreciate it, but he would also has to somewhat, want not get too into his feelings because he would never do that and get like very touched by it. But I think there's definitely the appreciation there. But today we're talking about Fall Heads Roll, the 2005 release from the Fall, and this came out 1 year almost exactly, I mean by a couple weeks after the passing of John Peel. So it's kind of maybe like a fitting response that they go on Jules Holland and, they're playing some of these songs, that might have been a Peel session in some form. But I think before we even get into that, we should, like, set the context for what's going on with The Fall at this time. So, in 2004, The Fall played the most gigs they've ever played since 1990, basically. So, they're back on the road, they're touring really hard, they're playing a bunch of shows. Sometime at the start of 2004, Marky Smith broke his hip. He, like, slipped on some patch of ice, I think, by a venue, and he was playing shows in a wheelchair with crutches, sitting at a table, and that's also kind of an interesting thing too, because it's like, at the end of his career, at the end of his life, he was in that wheelchair once again. So it's kinda like he had a precursor wheelchair performance, and maybe he got some strategies out of that. But I always like the idea of Mark performing sitting at a table or a reading, and Steve, we know that he was doing that a lot for his solo spoken word albums, right?
Oh,
Performances.
oh yeah.
That's kinda cool too. It's, like, all coinciding here, and some of those spoken word performances are gonna rear their heads on this album track list, in lyrical form. He's pulling some from there. So, it's kinda interesting, The Fall are back on the road, they're hitting the road, and then they're gonna make this album in 2005. It's kind of a fun story too that around this time, The Fall were supposed to go to America on an American tour, and someone forgot to put in the paperwork for the visas. So, a bunch of dates got canceled, and they had to, like, reschedule, rebook everything, and so the next time around, The Fall were supposed to come to America. Guess what happened, Steve?
2005, so not 9/11.
No, 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 yeah, around this time. Someone forgot to submit the paperwork again.
Mm,
Is the
where is Kay when you need her?
"fool me once, shame on me." Yeah, exactly. The management, maybe there's something to be left to be desired there. But let's talk about the Fall Heads role. The Fall go to New York City. It's a gigantic studio. They're set to record this album. But the thing is, the whole band pretty much is there in New York City, and they're waiting on Mark to show up, and he gets delayed arriving there in New York because of a blizzard, I guess. And they have basically a week in the studio without Mark. And how do you think that went?
I think they got a lot done.
Yeah, they got a shitload done. They pretty much recorded everything, and interestingly, they recorded everything almost like instrument by instrument. So, like, basically the total opposite of what the Fall
Yeah,
usually do.
what they would do. Yeah,
Like, get
absolutely.
the live sound going. So, eventually they're all like, fuck it, we're so productive, it's sounding great, we're getting great sounds." Mark shows up and
They're doing shit the way they know how to actually record.
yep, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. And I wish I could hear that version too. Like, that would be interesting to hear that. Well, I guess without Mark's vocals.
You want another country on the click?
I want another
Bootleg?
leaked bootleg. Yeah, that would be great. But then Mark shows up and he's like, "Hey, guess what? We're redoing all this shit. We're redoing it top to bottom, and we're doing it the fall way, live." So they got to re-record everything. They finish up at Gracieland Studios. So Mark also, I think, one of the reasons why he wanted to record in New York or in the America in general was to get away from the British tax, right? Because if it's produced in Britain, then you're gonna get taxed like a motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
he wanted to get into the American recording studios to so he could get off the bill at least for that for those tracks. Yeah, so it's really interesting that they get these tracks recorded multiple times, I guess, and it turns out to be this album. And what do you feel about Fallhead's role?
I listened to it a lot. I think we've been kind of going on and off on this, kind of roller coasting, recording different things. So it's been a couple weeks where I'd played it.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was good, everything, and then kind of halfway through, I was like, oh, it got kind of super familiar for me, and in not like a not a great fall way, more of a kind of blasé, just kind of go, not anything super interesting was happening.
Hmm.
And then towards the end, I was, I found the nuance that I did enjoy.
Yeah, I think this one is just like it's so straightforward that it's kind of like you're looking for other things that aren't
Yeah.
there maybe.
Yeah, I
But
think that's kinda how I felt. I was like, "Oh, is it interesting? Is it fall? Is there something that I is there an edge to this that I'm not hearing?" And, I think you kinda make it up in your head as you listen along sometimes.
yeah, and with that being said though, this album is so solid. Like it's straight rocker album. I think even Olaney said in some interview like it's all the hits. It's like all
Yeah.
just rock and roll hits like that you would want from a fall. It's almost like a great track list for a show because it is so rocking and rolling. Minus a couple of those downbeat songs that are actually some of the best on the album, but it is just really front to back a bunch of songs that are really cohesive and fit together well. I
I
even
think
think the yeah.
we always kinda say, an album you'll play for your mom if they don't wanna know the fall, or introduction to the
Oh,
fall
yeah.
for somebody, like, you're like, "Yeah, this is super approachable and listenable, and nobody will look over at you like, what did you just play me?"
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. This one is so accessible, and I think there's a lot of Fall Heads fans out there that really like this one because it is I don't know, it's filled with like hooks. It's got great lyrics on these tracks. It's got an edge to it. It's got blindness, which is a lot of fall fans, they think it's like, the one of the opuses of the band, especially later era or middle era. And yeah, it's just I'm excited to get into it because it is an hour long. It is a big slab to get into. It has some similarities to another hour-long album from the early era, Hex Induction Hour, which we'll get into. But who do we got on this one, Steve?
So, we have Mark, and we got Ben Pritchard on guitar,
Mhm.
Steve Trafford, bass, vocals, and guitar, Spencer Whistle on drums, Elena Hulu on keyboards and vocals. Had some guest appearances on a couple tracks. Simon Ding Archer, he's on 3 tracks. He plays banjo,
Mhm.
bass, and vocals. And then we have Billy Pavone, Kenny Cummings, and Phil Schuster. They're all on track 14.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, the closer,
The
which
closer,
is
yeah.
gonna be very, very left-hand turn. Let me just read you this quote by Ben Pritchard, which I think speaks a lot to some great insight into recording with a Marky Smith as your frontman. We've never got any idea what vocals he's gonna do or what lyrics he's gonna sing. He never tells us. He just turns up and he does it. When he does, that's the first time we hear it. So you've got to get in the mentality of writing a song that you can't put a melody or anything over. You just have to write a repetitive riff that just goes round and round so that he can just come in and do whatever he wants to. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's just the way they've been doing it from the beginning, basically. And Mark isn't about to change, but it's got to be challenging for new members. I mean, not that all of them are new members at this point, but
Yeah. Yeah, but doesn't
you,
it? Yeah, go ahead.
they weren't there from the beginning, right? They need to know what to create, right? You wonder
Mm.
how much of the back catalog have they studied, or are they moving forward versus looking back?
Yeah, usually they're fans, but who knows if they're like practicing songs that are never going to be played, which is probably usually the case. I just like that insight from Ben because it kind of sums up what happened, which is the band gets in the studio, they record something they think is really good. Mark shows up, he says, what's going on? This is not the fall way to do it. This is not the way that I do it. And he makes them do it live because him sitting in a vocal booth, just reading his lyrics over pre-done tracks is definitely not fall-esque in any way, but also it doesn't allow him the freedom to ad lib, to, go further. It probably stretches his mind just as much if they keep on doing the same riff over and over again and he's got to fill it up. He might come
Oh
up with
yeah,
a couple lines that are just like killer or just
I'm
pull
sh-
out a couple lines. Yeah.
exactly. I'm sure he doesn't walk into the studios knowing really what he's going to say most of the time.
No. No, it never sounds like it, does it? That's why
Mm,
on those Peel sessions, it's like, oh, they got it locked in. On the road or, before they go in there, they got it locked in.
Yeah,
Um,
because Mark locks it in as he does it, right? Like
yes,
it's not.
yeah.
There's not like it is impressive how he then replicates it
Mm,
because it, it's pretty consistent. It's not that it's all over the place after that.
yeah. Yeah, that's
And
right.
I don't think anybody's writing it down, or he's he's not got a notebook he's studying up before the show. So
Yep.
it is a steel trap of a mind for the altered state he's in most of the time to just be able to do it over and over again.
Yeah. That's what I always wanna ask these former fall musicians is when you there's gotta be so many experiences when you're playing a song, maybe even it's not the first time because 'cause you're so focused on trying to get the song to where it should be, probably from your end. But how many times do they experience the thing of, like, catching their ear like, they're not really listening to Mark because they're listening to him because he's probably calling out changes, but they're not really listening to what he's saying, but then, like, the second, third time, they're hearing what he's saying, like, when they're a little bit more in the zone, in the groove, comfortable with the riff, and they're catching their ear, and they're like, "Whoa, what is he talking about now?" Like, I never
Yeah,
that now this is the song in my mind, like, this song is completely morphed, like, within a moment into something
sure.
totally different. It's gotta be so fun, so
Or
engaging.
or even as like these new members are getting dropped into basically playing immediately, like, oh, yep, you're on.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
Mark isn't even phased that they're not playing the right song, and he just picks it up and well, I guess I'll just sing the song they're playing now. Like it
Yep.
doesn't matter. Like
Yep. 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 And I think that happened with some of these band members that are on this album where they got hired and then they're immediately going to, like, America, right? They're just
yeah.
immediately on the road in America in a whole new country and just playing with the fall, which is just wild, wild stuff. So let's get into Fall Heads Roll. Let's get into the first track and let's get rocking away with Ride Away.
As we travel through Hidden Valley, right every way, you don't know what you do when you accuse me. You're talking about yourself. You think you're a giant. You think you're a nothing. Hey, hey. Split lies of discontent. I wish you could see yourself. You drive them away through hill and valley. Ride on, ride on, ride on, ride on, hey, hey. You're a giant, you know you're nothing, hey, nothing to do with me.
What do you think about Ride Away as a first track?
I mean, like we said, it's straightforward. It's good. I mean, it's basically just him and Elaney.
Yeah.
Like it.
We got the drum beat.
I mean, if she had a drum
Got the
machine,
bass.
if she had a drum machine, like you really wouldn't need anybody else.
It's 5 minutes long as a leadoff track, and it's like these first two tracks. Once you get past these first two tracks, and there's stuff in here that's worth its merit to listen to these. But once you get past these, you really get into the flow of the album. It's just hard to start on a 5-minute track that's so monotonous like this. And it's another Marky Smith diss track, right? You're talking about yourself. There's the callback to you're talking about yourself. He does that a lot on this album where he's pulling old lyrics and putting them in songs for new or even similar contexts. And this one, you drive them away. I wish you could see yourself. You drive them away, right? It's just so. I want to know who he's talking about in this one. I want to know who he's getting at.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't drive me away, but I could see where other people would be.
It's almost like, know what I picture? I think it's like almost like a big shot musician or even like a record CEO, someone that's like higher up, but they think they're a giant, you know, as you travel through Hill and Valley. I like the traveling through Hill and Valley as a lead off. I thought it was going someplace totally different when I was first listening to it, but it's like the giant, but then they're so kind of uninteresting and kind of grotesque and disgusting in some form that people do not want to be around them. He even says a buster, and that might be some British slang that I'm not catching there, but I can get the gist of it of like you're just not like catching anyone's engagement.
Yeah, Buster. I wish you could see yourself. Yeah, there's some chatter on the old annotated fall about that Elaney said she wrote the song, but not much besides people saying Elaney told me herself.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's good. I mean, I like that he's leading off with the Elaney/Smith production, with that. And
Are they married at this point? Do you know?
yeah, I'm pretty sure they are, but I don't know where it would fit in the rest of the track list because I kind of like getting it out of the way and I like getting into it. But I could also, it also is just like a nice, easy way to get into a fall album, which is not usually the case. Usually they are challenging you, and I guess this is challenging you with the length and the repetitiveness if you're not, familiar with the band at this point. But let's get into
Yeah,
the next.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say it doesn't take you anywhere. Usually, like these long ones, like you got a weird part in the middle there where you're kind of like, "Huh, that was strange. Why'd you do that?" But yeah, it's a long. I guess it's discipline, not repetition. You know how that goes.
We know how that goes for sure, mate. So let's get into the next one, which is more multidimensional. Let's get into Pacifying Joint.
Whip, whip, whip. with kerosene made, pacifying joy, or a place where nice people could meet. I'm only 19. I don't want the kind that puts you to sleep.
What kind of joint is he talking about here, do you think?
Well, every form that he could think of. You got the marijuana joint. He's 19. He's hitting the streets, looking for the pacifying joint. Later on, we're signing treaties in a pacifying joint establishment. At one point, he even says a pacifying joint with carrots and meat, which is
Yeah. So
which is
yeah,
fun.
so he does say in an interview that this is about a place he can
Oh,
sit down.
okay. A place you
Uh,
can sit down, a steak place.
yeah, gets carrots and meat. He's looking for a place to just chill out.
Yeah.
And this is also the interview where later on, not the same interview, he said there's a place to sit down, but Pitchfork is asking him about it, and this is where the skunk damage line comes from, there, where he says there's a lot of skunk damage in Manchester right now.
Skunk damage.
Yeah, a lot of skunk damage.
Smells like skunk in here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weed. It's damaged though. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like the damage phrasing. Yeah, that's really good. You're not gonna get that smell out. You're not gonna get that smell out of the joint. Oh man. No, but when he starts it off with "I'm only 19," and know what I was thinking? And maybe this is a job for Danny No, if he hasn't probably already done it, which is like catalog, or I mean, list out all the songs where Mark talks about being an age, right? I mean,
Yeah.
not him, but he uses it as the character being this many years old. I mean,
Yeah.
50-year-old man, that's even more. But like, even in some of the early Fall, it's really he's using that age or even the year, right?
Yeah.
Thrown in years.
He sets a scene, or he takes you somewhere
Uh-huh.
really quickly and easily with what it is, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody can go to that age or think about somebody that age, or you're like, what? You're all of a sudden it's 1936, and then it's 2072, and you're like, oh wow, here we go.
Yeah. I wonder how much of that strategy is allowing him to get into the character, or if that strategy is more or less, it's probably both, but or is more or less um just to do what you're saying, which is like to put the listener in, a mindset that is different from their
Yeah,
current age and their
and
current lifestyle.
I think it's a lot of like, I mean, like Twilight Zone and all the kind of things he's watching, on TV is it quickly creates a scene and then tells the story, right? So, is he
Yes.
playing off of that? Is that easy for him to, okay,
Yeah.
I can take you somewhere immediately, and now there's no more messing around. You're already there. You don't
Yeah.
need to explain how you got there. There's no,
Yeah.
because all of his lyrics are so questionable of what is he talking about, that
Mm,
at least one thing is set in stone. Like the scene is there. Like
yes.
what the year is, how old he is, what's going on there. So now the rest of the words at least have some semblance of context.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. And it's so much more interesting than being to say something along the lines of, "I'm a teenage boy. I'm a
Hmm.
t I'm a teenage girl," whatever. Like, that's not as poetic and not even close, right? Just make it a little bit vague, give you enough information, and that's what he is the master at, just giving you enough information where it allows you to expound in your own brain and go explore all the branches. I also like how the song ends, uh, "Pleased to meet, I'd keep your voice down," and then at the very end, "Who are you gonna meet? Pacifying joint." Like, there is that level of, I just am projecting on it, the level of stonedness to it, where even if you're in the Marquis Smith joint that he's talking about place, um, there is the stoneness where it's like, what's gonna happen, like, who's that person, right? There's, like, a little bit of mysterious smokiness to it, where it's like, ooh, who am I going to meet? Who am I going to interact with? What is this night holding as far as my fate? Right? Like, what is going to be the outcome here? It never gets to that point, but all he knows is he doesn't want the kind of joint that puts you to sleep. He doesn't
No,
want that indica.
no, yeah. Give me the excited feeling.
Give me the upper strand. All right, Steve. What
What
do
do
we
you?
got?
We got. What do you? Do you know what the word is? Dan lets us know here. What the word of repeating a word and giving a different meaning each time. Do you know what that's called?
Oh no, I don't.
Anticlasis.
Ooh,
Yeah, anticlasis
I
is
get an English lesson.
yeah.
Mm, grammar lesson. I like that. Mark loved that. I mean, that's another strategy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
what he fucking loved.
I
Man.
like this. This is a cool word. It means a lot of things. How many can I use them all?
Yeah, just like pacifying joint as a phrase is a great phrase. And that was just you know, the springboard for him to just jump into making a song like this lyrically. I like the bass synthesizer. It's kind of musically. Yeah, what do you think about it musically? Because it's like it's got a little bit. The synth has a little bit of like a horniness
Mhm.
to it. It's a a brass band.
Which kind of horny are you talking about now? Are we several different kinds of horny?
The pacifying joint could lead to meeting and to
Yeah,
pacifying a relationship.
it's got some it's got some edge to it. I mean, at least some funkiness. It's almost funky in a way, like the
Hmm.
brass band kind of funkiness, where you're more interesting than the first one.
Yeah. And know what's more interesting than this one? The next one.
Let's do it. We got What About Us?
Now that's the way to start an album, but
Yeah,
we're basically starting the album right here as far as I'm concerned.
here we go.
Yeah, What About Us? It starts off with some ba ba ba's, but well, the leg end, living leg ends, the living leg end, the leg end. Steve, what is that all about? What is the leg end? The foot?
The living leg, and yeah, I guess.
I like that this comes
I
back
think it's like
later.
I think it's yeah, it does come back later
Yeah.
in blindness. I like
Mhm.
the I think it's the living legends, like
Mm.
legend, living legend.
Yeah, at the beginning of Blindness, he goes, the flag he starts out off with the leg end too. He says, "The flag is evil. Welcome, living leg end." That's and then it goes into some One Leg stuff, which we'll get into. We're getting ahead of ourselves, but, um, a rabbit hopping through the fields.
There's a couple of different rabbits here that we're talking about.
Mm,
Steve Trafford tells us who the rabbit is, the perspective of this rabbit.
mm,
It is a rabbit named Gunther, and this rabbit,
German, East German.
it is an East German rabbit that was Eleni and Mark's stuffed toy rabbit.
Mm, and I think that I may or may not have read that maybe that was a nickname for pet name between Eleni and
Well,
Mark too.
yeah.
Um,
There's
but
also there's
yeah,
also kind of some stories about the crumbling of the Berlin Wall. And so the rabbits were living on the east side, basically unadult. Nobody was bothering them, but there wasn't much going on. Right?
right.
It's the east side of Berlin. But then the wall came down, and basically they flooded back into normal Berlin, and it wasn't so great for them.
Huh. That's why he's always like, I was sort of happy. That's a great line. And then he's like, I saw the newspaper and I was not very happy.
Wait,
Oh, yeah. Okay. This is coming together a little bit more because when he's talking about the drugs, right? The doctor dishing out the drugs, dishing out the morphine to old ladies.
yeah, so do you know who Dr. Shipman is?
Well, I kind of do now because I got turned on to it by Steve Pringle, but you know what I originally heard when I was listening to the song, just straight off the cuff,
Yeah.
um, was I thought they were saying because I was listening really hard, I was like, I thought they were saying shipment,
Oh,
right?
shipment? I thought they were just saying shit, man. Like,
See, yeah.
I thought Mark's pissed he's not getting any of these drugs everyone else is getting.
Well, see, I'm on the same track because I thought that he was saying, "What about us? What about us? The
Yeah, why are
shipment,
we
give me the shipment. I want
Uh-huh,
the
I want
shipment
some,
coming
why
in." Yeah,
I'm a hot chick too, give me some drugs.
I think I was also tying it back to, like, the context of Roush Rumble, right? Because he's like,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
the working at the dock, the shipments coming in, getting the illegal drugs shipped in and under the guise of something else, and then I was kinda putting those together as, like, another type of thematic song in that regard. But yeah, tell me about Ship Man.
Yeah, so Dr. Shipman, killed himself in jail in 2004, and he was a British doctor, and he basically gave lethal doses to many elderly women
Yeah, like yeah, people
of
that were
morphine.
in yeah, people
I
that
don't
were
know.
in state care. Yeah.
I don't know in a I want to kill old ladies sense, or if it was in more of a Dr. Kevorkian humane sense of things. I
Huh.
don't know that much about it. I just kind of stumbled on it now. As
Yeah.
always, I don't really like to know what I'm getting myself into until the last moment here.
Yeah, but but that is a good question to raise, and that's something that um you could probably easily find. But because this I don't know, this is a great song because it has these multifaceted things. I mean, it's also talking about immigration, right? It's also talking about there
Yeah.
yeah, it's all in this one song, which is just wild. It's a wild trip.
So yeah, there is a really good interview here that I can go through if we want, with Michael Stewart and Mark. talking about this song, and basically he's asking, like, Michael Stewart, I guess, thought it was about a real rabbit. So Mark says, no, it's about these Eastern European fellas that are grossly disappointed. That's why they're plumbers and they're crushed. So he asks me, what's a rabbit got to do with it then? Mark goes, what do you mean, what's a rabbit got to do with it? You wrote it. I'm saying, what's there? He's like, did you think this is actually about a rabbit? He goes, yeah, you spoiled it for me now, Mark. You thought it was about a rabbit? And laughs at him. East German.
At least we're a step ahead of him.
Yeah. East German drug dealer shipman. Yeah, he's just basically like, yeah, no, Mark's got way more nuance than that. Come on now.
I mean, there's great imagery in this one, like lyrics like, but till then one night, by the green grass, by a rubbish receptacle, I saw a newspaper. I was not very happy. Then I moved to North Britain. I became an immigrant. I could frolic around all night in the green grass. And I also like the green grass in this because it is also giving us a little glimpse into a future track that is a cover in some form, even though it's completely different context. Like, I just like that these tracks are co-intertwined. I mean, they're intertwined and interwoven, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, and like the grass is always greener, right? You're sitting there in East Germany, miserable, thinking about what else is out there, and then you get there and you're like, huh.
I don't know why he's saying that they were crushed. The East Germans were crushed, so then they became plumbers because wasn't his dad a plumber? Wasn't like his family?
I think it's
like, were they crushed?
I think he's crushed that they had to become a plumber, right? Like, what were they more? Were they something else? It's like, it's like a surgeon coming to America and all of a sudden he's not a doctor anymore.
Right,
and he's doing something else.
Right. Transition to the new way of living, way of life, right? Doing what you can do, finding your niche with the skill set that you have. It might not even be related to what you previously did. Yeah,
exactly,
totally.
Yeah,
totally.
Scraping by. What job can I do here? Is there what's needed?
Yeah. So talking about more kind of interwoven tracks, let's get into the next track, Midnight in Aspen.
Fog sticks around as if he were on soar. Goes higher and higher till the last. Even chain on Jeep is bored. Haifa, Aspen, Utah, Ice Mountain of Jehovah. Freedom of self. 6 p.m. Rising.
Now that beautiful track, Steve, is a masterclass in minimal lyric writing. I mean, can I just read you all of the lyrics for the song since it's so concise, but it also just sets a pure as white snow tone. The fog sticks around as if he were on, so it goes higher and higher till the last.
The soul goes higher and higher.
The soul goes higher and higher till the last. Even chain on Jeep is bored. Hyphen, Aspen, Utah. His pronunciation of Utah is way better too. Ice mounting over Jehovah. Freedom of self-doubt. 6 p.m. Rising. He aims the highest, bestest powered rifle at the stars. Orion. It bounces off. The satellite. He was lucky this week. Midnight. That is where it's at.
Does it sound like anybody else's writing? You know who this was written about?
Mr. Hunter S. Thompson.
There you go.
And what I would pay for a series of Mark E. Smith hanging out at Hunter S. Thompson's Aspen Ranch, them shooting guns, them having a great time. I mean, if you actually want to get a little insight into that world, like I used to be real Hunter S. Thompson head back in, I think when every college kid gets into that pretty hard at some point. And there's a Conan O'Brien kind of segment of his show where Hunter S. Thompson's not going to go to New York City and be interviewed on a late night stage, kind of in a Mark E. Smith way, right? He's not going to go and do a sit down interview like that. So Conan is like, he's like, come out to my ranch. I'll take you out and we'll shoot some guns, some big motherfuckers. You know, it's just a great kind of scene where it's like, if you're like-minded and you're up for anything, you will experience anything with that guy. Especially on his own property. You're just going to be doing all sorts of stuff that I guess you're afforded in America to do, and what he did. I just would love to see them just fucking hanging and ingesting a lot of stuff.
Just getting weird with it, right? Like,
yeah. And it's such a beautiful track. It's such a beautiful track. I would have loved to hear this live. It comes back as a reprise in a couple tracks, but it also reminds me of Winter, the track by The Fall on Hex Induction, where they kind of cut it into two, and it's like the A and the B side. Here they do it a little bit differently because it's not splitting up a side, but it's a continuation, which I think is even better of the storyline. And it also is like the second half of what could be.
Exactly. Yeah, it's weird that it's the second half of the song because you almost don't pay attention, thinking it's just going to be the same thing, just different, and it's not.
No, yeah, and it gives you something more. It's really beautiful guitar work. It's just really
it's Steve Trafford wrote the music for that.
Yeah, Steve Trafford. Fucking nailing it. Well, let's get up for a minute, and before we get back down, and let's go to one of the most rocking tracks, I think, Assume.
I would think at the end of the bridging there might be a few little shapes.
The weird new language, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll do it.
It's the dude.
It's about just being very
The
cool.
dude. So to the dude.
They assumed 7 of them were hymns. 3 places, but I did you jest. If you are a human, you assume. They move through the nights at the sky. No destination, they are humans. If you half assume you are a human, the third tone is mystical, rabbit. If you half assume you are human, if you fully assume you are human, when clip bars red out in June. The lyrics of a Hey Jude. He was victorious trembling. If you are whom you assume, if you don't assume, you are capital. Capital. His verbals victorious and unjust, trembling in its tactic, being hectic up by events. The watch was blackish in the morn. If you assume you are a hume, if you half assume you are a hume.
Steve, what the heck is a hume?
I'm happy to
Do
know.
you assume?
I'm happy to know that I don't know, and it appears that nobody does.
Okay, well, I actually have some insight from from the internet, which may or may not be true. But a hume is a fictional way to measure the power of reality bending in certain areas. The baseline hume level is 1. Any lower than 1, and it becomes easier to manipulate reality up to the point where even normal humans can become reality benders. Any more than 1, and even reality benders can have difficulty.
Oh,
Does that explain it for you? Because
uh,
I'm still kind of lost. The level of 1, are you going above 1 or under 1?
yeah. I got another one. Hoon is also Australian and New Zealand slang for someone who drives a car or boat too fast.
Hmm. Also, apparently David Hume is a philosopher that did some work in this area.
Yeah,
A Scottish philosopher, is that right?
yeah. From in the 1700s,
Mm.
he was mostly known for challenging assumptions.
Oh, challenging assumptions. I like that a lot. Okay. Um, but I also know Hume because you got me this very cool artwork that is called the Fall 100 Songs, and it's a drawing by
Oh no, that
Jeffrey Lewis.
you didn't get that till Christmas, son. Don't talk.
I know, I know, I know. This is probably coming out at Christmas. uh, um, so Jeffrey Lewis is an artist, and you can get this on Jeffrey Lightning Lewis store, and basically, it's 100 songs. It's more than 100 songs that he has done drawings of in very much like a Where's Waldo style, and he's got a list, like a kind of a key that you go off of, and there's songs across the Fall's entire discography, and there's drawings of basically the images that represent the songs or the stories that are within the songs, and it's really cool. It's really a fun thing, but in the key that he gives you, if you find 100 of the images, if you correctly identify them to the fall songs, it says, "You are a Hume." If you don't find 100, you are a Hume. If you find 112, you are Capitan. You're Captain.
Captain, German. That's
Yeah,
German
you're
for
Captain.
captain.
I know, I
Yeah,
know, I know.
there you go.
So, yeah, but this song is fucking rocking, it's fucking
Yeah.
ripping. I really like it.
I mean, it is, and it is just pure Mark chaos of what is going on.
Mhm,
What are they?
mhm.
What? How? All awesomeness on all levels. Truly, like it.
Y
It's not. It's so weird, but so good, and it just engrosses you. You're trying to find out what's going on the entire time, and you're not disappointed at the end that you still don't have a clue.
No, not in the least. I mean, there's a line in here that says, "When Cliff Barnes read out in the June the lyrics of Hey Jude, he was a victious trembling." I mean, even that's when you have a moment of, like, being like, "Oh, is Hume just like a human type? Maybe it is, maybe," but then it's just throwing you off with these little nuggets. Yeah.
This is
I think the way he starts it off though is kind of like sums it up the best, where he just says, "It's a weird new language, isn't it? In it,
and it's the humans.
it's the Humes, it's the Humes." Um, yeah, Humes, and then the Hoons, they took over from the Hunes. So I mean, I don't know if we need to kind of like torture anyone with us going any more into this, but I do like at the beginning that little audio clip that they put on there, where it sounds like they're talking about going to the shops.
Yeah, and it just kind of it just sets you up for nothing. It
Yeah,
sets you up for
in the
just
best way.
in the exactly. Like you're
Yeah.
like, oh, what? Like, okay, here we go, and then it's just not that. And yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Let's get into a little uh reprise of Aspen right here and like get into what is going on in Aspen overall.
At the constellation of Orion, it bounces back over irritated. But wait till next week.
Yeah, that's the way to wrap it up. Pretty sure.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that the bullet is coming back now. Right? The bullet was
Yeah.
released in the first one. It
And
was going
Orion.
Yeah, it was pointing up at Orion and like, if you want to go into the darkness in of Hunter S. Thompson committing suicide and like with his rifle with his gun, the bullet exited, bounces off the satellite. He was lucky this week. I like that too. I like that in the first part, but then in this one, the bullet's coming back down. It's bouncing back down, and we got to wait till next week. Everything about this, even when he's talking about the 18th century revolters, which I originally thought he was saying 18th century vultures, which I think is would be fun too. Never said anything about this. That that's cool. It's like providing the context that's non-existent.
Yeah. What? Like, where and how did the old frog 18th century revolters, the old French?
Yeah. Were they supposed to like inform someone about to shoot themselves, or were they supposed to tell you about the struggle of the mental state while creating and ingesting large amounts of psychedelic drugs and
Of
everything else?
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of everything and anything.
Hmm. I guess maybe they did have some insight. I need to dive into that a little bit more. How about this line? And the gray red churned up roots. It misses him tonight, but wait till this time next week, next midnight. Ooh wee. I don't really have much to say about that besides it's fucking great. Let's get into something else that's fucking great, and that's the last track on this side, and it's a track that most of our fall heads are familiar with. So we're there's nothing to preface it with. Let's just get into Blindness.
The flat is evil. Welcome. Living legend.
I like this character kind of having to be places at certain times, right? All these different curfews, right? Yeah, I had to be in for 6:30, and then later there was a curfew at 9:30 for my kids. It's like he's got to be someplace, but then he's still continuing on. Like all these times are passing by, but he's still just continuing onward, blind. Now,
Yeah.
yeah. Where do you start with this one?
Yeah, I mean, which version do you even want to go with? There's a Peel
Yeah,
version, there's a
yep.
demo version. I mean, it is obviously a song that Mark saw something extra in, right? Or he can kind of taste it, right? Like he knew
Yeah.
there was something here more so than the other ones.
I think the music was really getting to him where it's like he knows that it has the potential. The music is laying itself out in front of him and beckoning him to put these great lyrics on top of it. So he's like, I mean, the Peel version is probably my favorite, but I was also going in when I first started listening to this song. I mean, my internal contrarian was like, yeah, of course, it's got a great, distorted bass line. And I think that's what a lot of musical fall heads get off on is that bass line with the synthesizer, which sounds great. It sounds great. But then I was like, it's just like great lyrics. I don't know if, it's a brooding song. It's getting that point across really clear, but it's just going to what the fall is at its best form.
I was going to say, I think that's why people love it in 2005 is that it brings you back
Yeah.
to the
Mhm.
brooding, just fantastic bass line that is carries you and drives you forward. And what everybody loves is that it drives Mark forward, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It sparks something awesome in him that he he goes above the 1% and becomes the human, and he can distort reality. Like
Above or below, he's going to
it
the
doesn't matter.
level.
He's
Yeah.
he either level. He can go up and down,
Yep.
and he can distort what's going on, and he can create the magic of the wordsmith that he is, and make it so much more than the instruments that are making the sound.
Yeah, it also feels like a song that it's like he put all of his, like, favorite lines in, or maybe, like, w whether he knew it or not, they're gonna be fan favorite lines in the long term, but I do like that he is, like, keeps referencing seeing a poster, on the top of a street or a street post or something like that, and it's calling back to the Chicago Now, Do You Work Hard line, and even at one point, he says, "There was a poster at the top of the street encapsulated in plastic." Encapsulated in plastic is beautiful. It had a blind man. Oh, man, it's just really I don't know. He's also talking about, I was only on one leg, and I also wonder if
Yeah.
that is a
Yeah.
callback to his
So yeah, I guess
hip.
he broke both legs and his hip
Oh my
when he
god.
fell. So I don't know what bones, but yeah, he broke both legs and his hip
Yeah.
in March of 2004. So yeah, I mean there had to have been some
That was in his mind.
yeah.
Going through that, put that in a song, even if it's not directly related to his actual experience, just a one-legged man going down the streets were fucked. Yeah. Um, of course, we could just pull out lines all day, but like the 99% of non-smokers die line. I mean, there's so many lines in here. My eyes can't get fixed, and my kids can't blue eyes get fixed. My eyes can't get fixed, and my kids can't blue eyes get fixed. Whoa. Oh man, that is a lot, and that is great. And that's a great way to end side A of Fall Heads Roll from 2005. We're gonna get into the B side, which actually has a bunch more rockin' and raucous tracks to get into. So we hope you get back on the bandwagon with us. But until then, we are the Fall.
We are the best.